Afghanistan saying it's prepared to resolve conflict with Pakistan through talks as both sides step up strikes and counterstrikes. Pakistan has declared open war, launching airstrikes on Kabul and other parts of Afghanistan in response to what it calls an unprovoked attack on Thursday. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif vowing a decisive defense of territorial integrity. Islamabad says it has killed more than 270, attacked battalion headquarters, an ammunition depot and multiple tanks. Kabul, though, has disputed the death toll. But Islamabad also refuting Afghan claims that forces killed more than 50 Pakistani soldiers. Kabul maintaining it's acting in response to Pakistani airstrikes over the weekend, which the United Nations says killed more than a dozen civilians. Other parties weighing in with calls to ease tensions. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister meeting his Pakistani counterpart. Now, China has called for restraint, saying it has been mediating through its embassies on the ground. The United Nations also adding its voice, warning that further escalation could shatter a fragile ceasefire reached in October last year. And Hira Mustafa is covering the conflict for CNA Live from Islamabad. Hira, Afghan Taliban, or the spokesperson from that government, saying it's ready to resolve this conflict through a dialogue. How has Pakistan responded?
Well, the situation on ground is extremely grim on both sides of the border. Pakistani side claims that they are inflicting heavy casualties on the side of Afghan, and the fighting is still ongoing as we speak now. The military spokesperson who is holding a media briefing currently says that Pakistan has conducted airstrikes in Afghanistan because what Islamabad says that Afghanistan initiated unprovoked firing on Thursday, and because of that Pakistan conducted a military operation. He said that in the ongoing military operation 27 soldiers have sustained injuries, one is still missing, and 12 got killed in this ongoing military operation. What we are hearing from the officials is that Pakistan does not want to go at war with Afghanistan, but Afghanistan was not taking Pakistan's stance of dismantling the terror groups who are operating from Afghanistan. And this is what we are hearing from the Pakistan's military also, that if Afghanistan is not going to take any concrete step to dismantle the terror groups, for example, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which Pakistan says is carrying out cross-border attacks, especially in the provinces of Afghanistan. So, especially in the provinces of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, Pakistan will not back down. And he also said that Pakistani nation is proud that Pakistan Armed Forces has conducted this military operation, and it was a very well-deserved response to the Afghan, because they were not listening to the regional countries who have urged Afghanistan to dismantle the terror groups who are operating across the border and are creating challenges for Pakistan in terms of security. As we speak now, Pakistan has hiked the security in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. There's a strict surveillance at all the entry and exit points of the province, and there are certain districts in the province where the military is conducting aerial surveillance also in order to maintain law and order situation.
All right, Hira, in fact, a truce was put in place in October last year, mediated then by both Qatar and Turkey, and they are involved now in trying to mediate and call both sides back to some kind of an end to fighting. What progress has there been on this mediation front?
Yes, that's right. When we saw a military escalation last year in October, the regional countries, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Iran also stepped in order to ease the tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And this time around also we are seeing that Iran's foreign minister has reached out to Pakistan, urging that Iran is ready to play its role in mediating talks between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Similarly, we have seen China come coming in and has offered that it can play a diplomatic role to ease the tensions between the two countries. But Pakistan's stance is very clear. We have seen statements coming in from the country's Prime Minister, Defense Minister, and other federal ministers reiterating that Pakistan will agree for a ceasefire if Afghanistan agrees to take concrete steps in dismantling the terror groups like Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and also ISIS. We saw earlier this month that a suicide bombing struck Shia mosque in Islamabad that killed more than 30 people. So because of all these developments and the volatile security situation in the western provinces of the country, Pakistan's stance is clear, and it says that Pakistan will only agree if Afghanistan is going to take any concrete steps against these militant groups. Of course, Afghanistan denies all these allegations and says that the deteriorating security situation is Pakistan's own internal problem.
Well, thanks to Hira Mustafa keeping an eye on this situation for us. She's covering the story for CNA from Islamabad.